Welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa Caprio. Do you believe in magic? What if you were told that all you had to do was get a little creative and work a magic spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Here on Postcards to the Universe, we will share manifesting, tips, postcards, creativity, abundance, and prosperity. Here is your host, Melissa Caprio.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa, creating the life you crave. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody is doing well. I've had a crazy couple of weeks, but I have a great show today. I have a psychic medium, Cheryl Murphy, on, and she's going to join me out here in just a couple of minutes. So it's been crazy. Last week was my birthday. Yesterday was the anniversary of my sister's passing, and I cannot believe it's been 2 years. So it's really cool that it just worked out that I happen to have a psychic medium on today. I didn't plan it that way. You know, I love how those things happen. So I'm really excited to talk to Cheryl today. And I mean, I can't even say like I have upgraded all my technology, then my computer crashed, and then it had to be rebuilt. And it's just been a hectic June. I'm like, oh my God. I'm looking forward to June being like over. You know, everybody's birthdays in June. It has been like Christmas in June. I swear it's crazy. So for my regulars who listen to me all the time, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new to my show, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. Just so you know, every show that we record, like today is June 26th. So if you're listening right now, you're listening to a live show, but we do put each show up on the archives, and you can listen to any of my shows anytime you want on Om Times Radio in the archive section, or you can listen to them on postcardstotheuniverse.com in the podcast section. I upload the shows, so you can listen anytime you like, and I hope that you keep coming back and listening. Just a little about me, if you're just listening for the first time. I am a photographer, I'm an artist, I'm an author, and I have a book, and it's titled Postcards to the Universe: Harness the Universe's Power and Manifest Your Dreams. And I talk all about manifesting, and my photographs are all in the book. And what I did is I had people create manifesting postcards. They would send me their postcard. When their manifestation showed up in their reality, we shared their stories, and that's what the book is basically in a nutshell. There's 30 of them in the book. So yeah, please, check it out if you're interested. It was so great doing the book. And I decided to rephotograph the postcards, and I rephotographed them because the book came out. It'll be 5 years in November already. I can't even believe it. Since COVID, I changed how I was photographing the postcards. So I photographed them very different than I did before that. And I also decided that I wanted to do live readings from my book. I haven't been as consistent as I should be because of all the craziness and, that's been going on. But you can follow along. It's all in my social media, and I've been doing short videos of me doing live readings from the book. So check it out. And I'm asking everybody to please send me a manifesting postcard. Super easy to do, super fun to make, and they are very powerful. If you want to know how, just go to postcardstotheuniverse.com. I tell you how. If you have any questions, please reach out. And also, the address is on there where to send them. So, God, I love getting them. So, please do that because I need to get more. I like opening up my mailbox and seeing lots of postcards. All right, so let me get to my guest today, Cheryl Murphy. She is an accomplished evidential medium. I don't know what that means, but she'll explain when she comes on. Psychic, animal communicator, health and wellness intuitive. She first experienced the spirit world at the age of 3, recalling a glowing orb floating through her bedroom. Growing up, psychic phenomenon naturally occurred in her home. All the female family members experimented with metaphysics, and she and her brother practiced together when they were children. That is so cool. Her aspiration to work professionally in the spirit realm started when she was just 13 years old. Destined to attend university, she chose psychology as her major, the closest field to metaphysics at that time. But after a profound psychic experience, Cheryl couldn't ignore her calling and immersed herself in mediumship and advanced metaphysical studies and has been reading professionally for clients for more than 20 years. Cheryl channels departed loved ones and uses her abilities to guide clients in making life path decisions. She practices animal communication, authors articles on spirituality, and teaches intuitive development to students worldwide. She's the founder of the Healing Prayer Circle and a member of Find Me, a nonprofit organization focused on locating missing persons. That's really interesting. So, if you want to follow along as you're listening or check her out whenever you can go to her website, which is www.psychicmediumcherylmurphy.com. And I'm going to spell her name CHERYLMURPHY.com. Welcome, Cheryl. Thanks so much for being here with me today.
Melissa, thank you for inviting me to your show today. It's such a joy.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you. I love talking to
Yes.
psychics. I love talking to mediums and channelers. It's just like so in my wheelhouse. So I find it really interesting. You remember that experience at 3 years old.
Yes,
Having that.
did. I did at 3 years old. I was very young, and it happened more than once. All right, so I had a beautiful, beautiful glow of like a golden light floating in my room. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and this beautiful ball of light represented like a spirit family, and they came to check on me, like I felt them communicating with me as a child, just saying, "Look, we're here to check on you to make sure you're doing okay. You're going to have a great time here. We're excited for you." So it was a very positive energy. And as this beautiful light would float through my room, objects in my room would move.
Oh,
So it
that's
was
so cool.
very interesting. Like a calendar would swing on the wall, or a toy would move across the floor. But it was always a very positive, supportive, loving experience. And it did happen more than once, a few times when I was around that age. Yeah, very interesting.
Wow.
Very memorable too. You know, when you remember these experiences, there's something to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because 3 is extremely young to have
Mhm.
memories like that. I mean, to have vivid. I believe all of us are psychically connected, and what happens is as we grow, we close off. That's why you'll hear stories of children saying stuff like they'll remember their past lives, or they'll be talking to somebody who's passed over, and then depending on the family that they're born into, is it embraced and explored, or is it shut down because it's scary, right? Which I'm sure you
Right.
know.
Yeah,
So tell me a
children.
little bit
Yeah.
about your family, because you said that you grew up in a family that was very open, and a lot of people are psychic in the female line down in your family line.
That's right. So growing up in my family, my mother would have metaphysical books around the house.
Mm.
I mean, at that
Mhm.
time, it wasn't mainstream yet. So, but we
Right.
did have some very classic books. We had Edgar Casey books, right?
Mhm.
We had the beginnings of Sylvia Brown books coming around.
Yeah.
So my brother, who closest in age to me, we would practice together, or we would have fun with it. We'd light a candle in the dark, and we'd ask for Abraham Lincoln to come in the room. Like, I mean, it's very playful when you're young.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
open to anything. You want that candle, flame to move as it did. But we would practice and have great conversations, and we certainly stayed in this field even growing up. We still shared literature and conversations around it. But what's neat is my mother was always very psychic. So she
Mhm.
always knew what we were up to. So you really couldn't get into too much trouble, because she had she had that intuitive knowing about what we were up to. But it did run
Mhm.
in my family. I want to share with you that when I was
Mhm.
very young, again, the women in my family, anytime we would gather for holidays or birthdays, so to speak, the women
Mhm.
would kind of go into their own room and talk about metaphysics or the topic of being psychic. They would be connecting with spirit. I was very young, so I wasn't a part of that at the time, but I would hear about
Mhm.
the conversation afterwards. They would include me in their after conversation to where I learned about my great aunt being very psychic. My great aunt was hired by the government to the Air Force to
Mm.
find a missing pilot and plane back in the
Oh,
time, which you
wow.
never would have heard about that, right? But she
Hmm.
said I'll find him for you, but he's already dead. And they said, okay, well, we still. And so she did find the pilot and the plane. They were, the pilot was ejected from the plane. It was in like the snowy mountains. I'm not
Hmm.
sure, somewhere on the east. But so you never hear about these things till you get older and you start talking to
Yeah.
your elders, that these things are natural for you and your family. So we always loved and we always supported spirit. I didn't really talk about it outside the home though, growing up, because the kids,
Right.
it just wasn't spoken about, and there wasn't anything wrong, or I never feared it. It just really was not the conversation that people were having. It just wasn't something that is as common now as it was then.
Mm. That's so
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, we used to do that
Mhm.
too as kids. We would call
Yeah.
in, we would play with the Ouija board, and then we would call in and we would channel and all that stuff, but we didn't know we were doing that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
We were kids. We were like 9 years
Yeah.
old, because this is before the internet. So we had to be creative. And I remember having an experience. There was I can't remember his name. There was like a famous commercial with a famous cat. I think it was Morris. I don't know if you remember Morris
Oh,
the cat.
I
So
remember
we did.
Morris. Yeah.
Okay, so that's who it was. So we were like 9 years old and we were channeling in and trying to get Morris, and the TV flickered and it turned on and off, and we all ran out screaming and we were like freaking
Ah,
out. It was like, so I
ah,
think that we're more connected than we realize. Now, how did you growing up? So obviously, I could see the influence, but like, when did you start
mhm,
connecting to
mhm.
people who passed on? Like, how did
Yeah.
that happen for you?
I never really thought my abilities were different from anyone else's. So
Mm,
it just you naturally just start feeling loved ones around. And it
mm,
wasn't anything that stood out, because for us, we were always meditating, or we were always
mm,
practicing,
mm,
so to speak, which is something I do recommend for people. It is a practice, sometimes, that you may not, because as you said, we're all psychic. We all have the intuition, all the intuitive
mm-hmm,
abilities we need, but it does take practice, sometimes. But I did start feeling it right around my teens, right around the age of
mm,
13. And so that's when I knew I wanted to step into this field more. And I wanted, but see, no, because no one was talking about it, the only place I felt I could learn, or at least be around like-minded people, was to take
mm-hmm,
classes, because that way I could feel
mm,
comfortable. I would be in a group of people. We could,
sure.
they wouldn't think you're different from
Mm-hmm,
them. And that's when I was pursuing, even and during college, I was looking for degrees. Even after college, I was looking still for classes, continuing, because I love the field so much. And it's just exciting
mm-hmm,
to meet other people who share that same interest. Yeah.
mm. Now, when you're having an experience, because now, especially during my show, and I've become friends with a lot of people who are mediums and psychics, and for everybody, it's different. How do the people, loved ones who passed on, show up for you? Are you seeing
Mhm.
them, hearing them in your
Mhm.
mind? Like, how,
Mhm.
feeling them, getting impressions? How does it work for you?
Uh, so for myself, when I set the intention and I blend with their energy, I do become aware
Mm-hmm.
of loved ones in spirit through feeling, through the clairsentience, or I
Mm-hmm.
hear them, the clairaudience. I also see them through clairvoyance, and also that knowingness. Sometimes they're working with me in the knowing, in the thought area, we'll say, the
Okay.
claircognizance. So it's a combination. And spirits
Okay.
work differently. They do. They work differently. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
only work with me in one faculty, but when I open up my psychic abilities, or when I open up my clairs, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
I ask them to blend with me to the best of my ability, to however they want to speak, because a lot of them are very loving. They want to deliver their loving messages to people, letting us know that they're here and they support us. So I may feel their
Mm-hmm.
love in my heart. Therefore, it's easy to convey that or express that. So I am working for the spirit world,
Mhm.
trying to represent them in the highest, appreciation we can, to where when I interpret the information coming through, being the evidential medium is,
Oh yeah, what is an evidential
yeah,
medium?
I heard you
Thank you.
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
evidential mediumship is bringing through evidence that you would know about your
Mm,
loved ones when they were
got it.
living, or with their person. Yeah, something you
Mhm.
could vouch for, or validate, or
Okay.
confirm. And sometimes the spirit world will even tell you things that you've been doing since their passing,
Mhm.
just to validate that they know that you know that they're watching you, right? But yeah,
Mhm.
evidential mediumship, it's about bringing through information that can be validated or confirmed
Got
by
it.
the recipient or the sitter, a family member. And sometimes it
Mm,
can't be at the moment. They'll say, well, I didn't
right.
know, my uncle was in the service during that period. And they'll go home and ask their family and get validation. So sometimes the information given is something they may not know. Like, and so the
Right.
medium, myself, may give them homework and, find that information, ask a family member. And then that's pretty
Mm.
amazing when that comes through, that type of information.
Now, do you
Yeah.
have to shut it off? Because I
Mhm.
imagine, I mean, this is what I picture in my head. Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is just what I picture. I picture that the people that like you, the work you do, and others, like you're like a light beacon for the people on the other
Mm.
side. So they see, oh, that person can help me get my message to my loved one, and that you would be bombarded. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So is there like a
Mhm.
shutdown you have to do when you open it up? That like because
Yeah.
it fascinates me because I imagine if I was getting connections from say spirits because I know that I do from family. I already know I get signs all the time. But let's say like from maybe somebody else's family, I wouldn't necessarily. That doesn't happen to
Mhm.
me. But I would imagine that all the time I would be like, you know,
Yeah.
okay, I can't right now.
It could be overwhelming, to where
Hmm.
to where sometimes you get sidetracked, to where maybe I was uh, balancing my checkbook, so to speak, but my
Mhm.
friend calls who maybe recently lost a loved one, and I can feel their loved one step in. So I mean,
Mm.
with permission to work with someone, and because the spirit has a need, the spirit world, they have a need to convey that message of love, or ask for forgiveness, or just let us know that they're okay. It doesn't
Mhm.
really overwhelm me, only because I work with spirits so much that
Okay.
they know when I'm working, or they know when I'm, having to
Mhm.
have my own day to do my own things. But I can sense them around, or feel them around, and it is about just opening up and being present, or uh, being able to receive that information, in a loving way. Yeah, so
Mm.
it can be overwhelming to someone just starting out, but it is
Yeah.
about practicing. Yeah, it's about practicing and having maybe boundaries on when you are doing this type of work, and then
Okay.
when you're going about your day and doing your own things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
you've probably practiced a
go-
lot. You're not so as overwhelmed nowadays, I can tell. Like, you can feel them around too, I sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I really feel my sister strongly. My
Mhm.
sister, she gives us
Mhm.
signs all the time, and I talk to her every day, and I know she is around, and I believe she's very powerful because my other sister gets signs from her all the time, and my mother does too. I don't know how much my dad believes in that stuff. We tell him, but I don't know. My mom does too, but I think for my mom, it's her child. So it's
Mhm.
different, and so it's harder for her, and she has hope, and and she's suffering a level of grief that's different than my
Mm.
sister and I.
Mhm.
So I don't know. She questions it a lot more. My other sister and I, we never question it. We're like, oh, that's Tony. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there she
Tony.
is. Yeah, doing her thing. So Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is true when parents especially are grieving the loss of a child. It's
Mm.
certainly,
Mhm.
boy, it's just got to be one of the most difficult things, the grieving process, and to mourn their loss. And with you and your sister, I'm sure
Mhm.
you're supporting your mom in every way you
Mhm.
can. And how beautiful, Melissa, that you are speaking with your sister who crossed over, Tony, that you're talking to
Mhm.
her every day. I mean, what a gift. What a
Yeah, I
gift
talked
for
to her.
her that you connect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really feel like we are connecting because I started probably within the last 6 months doing a visual meditation every morning because I'm not good at quieting my mind. So I came
Mm,
up with a well, let me go on a visual journey because that I'm a visual artist. That for me is comfortable, and I started doing that. And what started happening is Tony started showing up in the
that's
journey. So
perfect.
now I see her every morning. So I feel very strongly like I'm seeing her. Like it's now am I imagining it? Maybe partly, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. But whatever it is, it's working for me and it brings me a lot of comfort cuz I feel like I see her every day.
Yeah, and may I add that, when you say you're feeling her, so that would be the
Mhm.
clairsentience. That would be the
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
feeling of love for someone in your heart, and that you're also seeing her, so you're also clairvoyant, using that
Mm.
faculty, that psychic faculty, to open up to the spirit world. And when you say your imagination, it is through our
Mhm.
imagination that we connect and open the possibility or the window up. We open the door up to allow them to blend with us and to connect with us. So how beautiful that you have found, and that's how it is, Melissa. Is everyone has their
Mhm.
own way of connecting with
Mhm.
their loved ones, or doing this professionally, or each medium has their own way. So it's nice to
Yeah.
take classes and to learn structure, so to speak, or to learn different ways, but then you
Mhm.
develop your own. You start being comfortable working your own style, we'll just say. So that's why mediums are different. Each medium may
Right.
offer different information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, are you also like psychic that has nothing to do with the mediumship side? Like if a
Hmm.
client called you and said, "Hey, I want to, I'm at a crossroads about my career or just want some information about themselves or what you see." Do you do that also? Or do you
Absolutely, I
Oh,
do.
okay.
Yeah, so blending with, so it's a soul to soul connection. When I'm
Okay.
working with the spirit world, I'm working with my soul is blending with the departed loved one's soul. And when I'm
Mhm.
working psychically with someone here, with questions
Mhm.
around career, finance, love life, I'm
Mhm.
blending with their soul. It's still a soul to soul connection, but I'm
Okay.
working with them directly across from me. And a lot of people ask me about, yeah, health concerns,
Mhm.
yes, relationships, relocating, career, just a lot of different questions, even around their pets or maybe
Mhm.
other family members, how they're getting along. But a
Yeah.
lot of people are very interested in opening up their own intuition. And I can validate a lot of things for people too that are already knowing that they're intuitive. I can help validate or confirm. It's nice to hear that from someone in the field, because I think it helps strengthen your trust or your belief that what the information you're getting is on
Mm.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you did because I have a friend. He's become a very dear friend and he is a regular guest on my show. And he wouldn't call himself a psychic, although he's very intuitive, but he channels. He's a channeler. So he
Mm.
opens himself up and spirit comes and I talk to whomever he's channeling, which is really kind of interesting. So I like that, everybody's different in the way
Mhm.
that they do their work. And I'm sure you're finding how more and more people are opening themselves up to this, correct? And you're
Absolutely. Yep.
like where
And
before it was
connecting.
like in the shadows, but now people are like open, like, what are you? Well, I'm a psychic medium. Oh, that's cool, Where before you would be like, well, I counsel people or whatever, you know?
Right, right. It's
Mhm.
so mainstream now. And people are so more open, and the consciousness of the planet, the consciousness of where we're moving to in this fifth dimensional reality, and like, as you know, the opening up the possibilities on how to manifest and to create or co-create the life you want. These things, trusting those gut, hunches, so to speak. Trusting your own belief system in people being more open-minded, open-minded and open heart with love is always what I say is needed. Just sit with have an open mind and an open heart, and really, you will be amazed at how much love the spirit world, the universe, want to help you and want to support you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that we're always being supported. Um, it's not always obvious that that's happening if things are falling apart in
True.
your world. When
True.
you're going through something very stressful or traumatic, you can't imagine that it's for your benefit, but it is for our growth. And I think that more people are seeking going to psychics and psychic mediums for counsel instead of doing traditional therapy. Listen, I'm not making a judgment. There's nothing against traditional therapy, so I don't want anybody to be like, well, who's listening. But I'm saying that it's another option. It's another avenue, maybe to go a little deeper and see what else is going on, underneath that you might not be aware of.
And some of these hard times and difficult times when people are having, and we've all been through so much these last few years. So many people are going through a transformative time and still going through them to this day. That it's supporting, and it almost feels like you're being seen or you're being heard when you go get a reading from a medium or a psychic, an intuitive. It feels like your energy field in some way is even receiving a healing, because readings can be healing. I believe that's the purpose of my work, is to always help someone on their next step. We always set the intention that it be for the highest good, and that we help someone on their next step, on their spiritual journey, on their path. Really, if we do it in the name, of source energy, or if we do it for the honor of helping others, that's when the joy and the flow and the unconditional love is really felt by everyone. That's really when you can hopefully connect people to their higher self and to their, to their higher purpose in life.
I just looked at the clock and I realized we're at the break time. So let's take our break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. So everybody stay tuned, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes with Cheryl. Okay.
Conscious media for conscious minds. Om Times. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of Om Times Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of Om Times. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Everyone has a story. I have a story. You have a story. We all have a story. As I see it, you have three choices. Allow your story to define you, use it to excuse you, or utilize it as a method to empower you. It's your life. You have the power. You choose. Rewrite your story on finduniquelyyou.com.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on Om Times Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
Hi, I'm Melissa Caprio from Postcards to the Universe, creating the life you crave. Do you believe in magic? What if I told you all you had to do was get a little creative and work a dream spell to bring anything you can imagine into your life? Well, guess what? I've got the spell for you. Postcards to the Universe, a global movement for manifestation, is a casting magical tool for you to use whenever you want. How does living in passion sound to you? Join me in my movement where you get to create in the magical playground. Let's think outside the box and do some playful conjuring. By casting out our desires with a manifesting postcard, we explore our hearts and allow the alchemy of our dreams to appear. And don't forget to tune in each week here on Om Times Radio with my show, Postcards to the Universe, creating the life you crave at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I share tips on creativity, abundance, and prosperity, and you will be introduced to the coolest guests, trailblazers, mystics, and creatives who enrich our lives. Hey everybody, and welcome back. If you're just joining me, I have psychic, medium, and animal communicator Cheryl Murphy with me today. So Cheryl, I wanted to ask you about the animal communication because I find that really fascinating. Now, do you communicate with animals that are both living and animals that are deceased, or is it just animals that are living? How does that work?
I do. I connect with both animals living and animals that are deceased. I just recently have been and you know what happens is I connect with the same animal a few times because the client will call me back like on the anniversary, or if they have another like maybe they're writing a book about their loved ones or their animals passing, and they want to teach people on how they processed it. So people do see me several times for the grieving or for the information. And then when their pet is deceased, but also people with their pets that are living, I help people when their pets have like behavioral problems or getting along with other animals, like they want to bring, I know, right? It's such a big one. And when they want to bring in another member, they want to bring in another pet, so to speak. Is it okay? Will they get along?
Yeah. Well, I asked Cheryl during the break if she would be okay if we talked, and she connected with me and things, and I wanted to make sure she was okay, and she said yes. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of things, and you can tell me what you think. All right. So I definitely want to ask about my sister, but before we go there, let's ask. I want to ask about a situation that happened in the last few years. So during COVID, a little kitten showed up unexpectedly, literally half almost dead on our property during COVID, and we took care of her. We named her Willow. And come to find out, even though she tested negative in the beginning, she had feline leukemia. So we only had her 2 years. But she transferred it to our other cat, who was an indoor cat, Gracie, who passed away a year later. And I wanted to know why, like what, like she came literally like landed on our property. I think she got caught by a hawk and was dropped because she was literally on our doorstep almost. It was crazy. So she showed up and we gave her a beautiful little life. And we just loved her so much. And then of course our other cat, Gracie, passed away too. And I just wanted to see if you had any hits on the lesson in that and how they're doing and all that kind of stuff.
So when I first connect with Willow and Gracie, but Willow is a really somewhat of a spirit guide for you for however long her life was. She was an angel, a guide stepping into your life, but also to say hello to an old friend of hers named Gracie, because it does feel like they had grown up together in a past life or they had been connected before. And in some way, she was also there to help out you and your family, because it feels like you guys at the time were going through problems. I don't know if that makes sense or not, or we could say challenges. But it's almost like taking it's almost like helping her out to open up your heart. Like in some way, maybe you guys were working on challenges intellectually, and Gracie and Willow came in to say, open your hearts up and you're going to more gifts will come to you this way, or more solutions will come to you this way. It's almost as if animals ground us, right? Animals ground us,
Yes.
whether they're healthy or wherever they are in their health, but they bring you into the present moment. And so there may be, perhaps you let me know, there was something in your life at the time where it's almost like we were being distracted by something else in our life, and Willow just brought it to us front and center. You know, like where she helps ground us front and center. And then also she and Gracie, I do feel in some way, I don't want to say, I don't know, I feel like soulmates, but I just say, I just want to say best friends, or best soul friends. When I feel the two of them, it's like catching up with someone. And I know that they both touched your lives, and in some way, your life has been blessed because of Willow stepping in. You know, in some way, your path has shifted or opened up in the field of animals as well,
That
along
is
with both
true
Willow and Gracie.
because Gracie was the family cat and super connected to my sister. But when Willow came in, like I just connected with her so quickly. Like she was just like this little like light, and it is true. So there was definitely a deep connection there, and it was like when she passed, she blessed us and we blessed her, took care of her. And so I could see that. And of course, we were going through COVID, and I was moved back in with my family, and it was a big house with a lot of people and a lot of stress, and everybody taking care of each other. So yes, it was good to have these animals to sort of help us all be together
Yeah,
at the same time.
ground and heal.
Yeah. And
Oh gosh.
now so Gracie is a rag doll, and my sister brought home another rag doll Christmas, and her name is Delilah. And
Oh.
my sister and I believe that Gracie is somehow connected to Delilah. Now, we don't know if it's Gracie's part of her soul is here, or if it's
Mm-hmm.
Gracie reincarnated, because another psychic told
Mm-hmm.
my sister that Gracie's going to come back into her life. But there's so
Oh.
many similarities. I mean, their personalities are
Mm-hmm.
different, but there's similarities. So I wanted to see what you got a feel for that
And
about
I have the
Delilah.
same experience too I have the same experience with one of my animals. I feel so it feels the same on my end too. I can share that what I'm feeling with Delilah and what I feel with Gracie is that, yes, I don't want to say it is completely Gracie, but it's as if Gracie has joined in on this
Yes.
experience, this life experience, where I do feel animal energy is more of a group energy or a streamed energy, to where they can all still be a part of that soul's growth, right? So Delilah is having her own soul experience on who she is in this lifetime, but that Gracie is somehow contributing to it or participating in it, or showing
Yeah.
signs that she's there, through Delilah.
Okay. Good. Well, so you
Yeah.
confirmed what my sister and I already think, because she looks almost identical.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy. And as she's growing, we're like, oh, and every once in a while we call her Gracie because she looks so much like
Oh,
her. Yeah.
and
So it's
doesn't Delilah
interesting.
lick her paws a lot or something? There's something about licking her paws a lot, is what I'm hearing. I'm almost like, some animals have a little bit of an allergy sensation, but I feel like with this animal, there's something about, I don't know, just cleaning her paws a lot is what I want to say. I feel like there's something indoors, because is Delilah indoor cat
She
or
is.
indoor
Ragdolls are
outdoor kind of
indoor.
thing?
She's
Yes.
indoor. She wants to be outdoor, but we won't let her. She's an indoor cat. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sometimes they lick themselves just to get their own scent on themselves, is what I'm saying, because it feels like there's a lot of other fragrances or
Yeah.
things
Well, we have
indoors.
2 dogs, another indoor outdoor
Uh-huh.
cat, a big house, a lizard, a
Oh,
tortoise.
I
Don't Yeah, Yeah, yeah. So that's a lot in that house. It's a lot in that house.
You seem like
A
you grew up with a lot of different animals, so I'm so glad you said the lizard and the tortoise. I felt frogs, and I just felt, you had your hands in anything and everything, a rabbit or, I love it. The birds,
Yeah,
just
we did. We did have a
loving
rabbit
nature.
too when I was a kid. Yes, we're very definitely animal friendly. But she has brought a lot of joy and helped f- fill the void of the loss of Willow and then Gracie, and that.
Mm.
I mean, our other cat, Marlo Brando, is indoor outdoor and he just does his thing. We can't control him. He's got his own
Yeah.
spirits. We just let him be.
You just kind of love him
Yeah.
from afar. Just
We
do
love, no,
your
he's
thing.
very
If
affectionate. He just
if you
can't be
need something,
controlled.
come to
We
us.
just got,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's him. So, I didn't know if it was easy for you to connect to my sister, but yesterday was 2 years since she
Oh
passed
my
away, my
gosh.
sister Tony. And
Yes.
we were just under 3 years apart. I'm the oldest. And
Oh,
yeah, so I didn't know if she's around, but I
okay.
just want to tell you that since I've been on the phone with you or on the radio with you, I have a light that is behind the TV, these like LED lights, and the TV is off, and the light keeps going on and off as I'm talking with you. And I'm not touching anything, it's doing it on its own. So I just wanted to let you know that. I don't know what that means, but
Here I
I'm
am.
seeing it. Oh, did you? I
Here I
lose you
am.
for a second? Oh, I
Yes, as
lost you
soon
for
as
a
you
second.
started talking about your sister.
Oh my God, did you
Did
hear
you
what I
know
said
that?
about the light? No.
No,
You
no.
didn't hear what I said about the
It,
light? So I
no.
don't know. I don't know if everybody heard me or if I just shut off, but there has been an LED light that I have on the back of my television. The television is off that has gone on and off a couple of times
Mm,
since I've been on the air with you.
perfect. And, there's so much love coming from your sister. And, there's so much appreciation about you caring for her, and I just feel
Mm-hmm.
you taking the time to spend with her rather than going out with your friends, making
Mm-hmm.
her your best friend, because I do feel best buds. And in some way, I know your whole family feels so, so close, but
Mm-hmm.
Tony also feels very funny in her own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like she's just a loud person, like when you see the lights with the TV, or I hear like knocking,
Mm-hmm.
or, if you
Mm-hmm.
hear a bang in your house, right? Or a
Yes.
door shut. Do you have that?
Oh my God. Yes, that's crazy. She was so loud. She blasted music when we would always be like,
Yeah.
Tony, easy, like with the door. Yes, that was totally her.
I hear the banging on the wall, like, turn the music down.
Yes, yes.
Do you
Yeah,
understand her legs feeling better also? Her legs feeling better or
um,
not as cold?
no, I don't think she had anything with her legs, but she was always cold. And
Okay.
we did joke with her because we live in Florida and it's hot.
Oh,
And she would
oh,
always be like, I'm cold, turn the air up and put an extra shirt on. And I would be like,
yeah.
Tony, how are you so cold? We're dying here. We're
It does
melting.
feels
Mm
like she would be covering up or something, and
hmm.
then the
Mm hmm.
cold
Yeah.
with that. So, but she
Yeah.
is a snuggle bunny, because I do feel her being very affectionate with you, or wanting
Yes.
to stay close with you, like a snuggle bunny. We'd really, I
Mm
mean, she felt safe with you. And I do feel you really being not only the caregiver for her, but being her guardian angel, I just want to say.
hmm.
And I wanted to say that angels are very important to both of you.
Mm
Do you ever
hmm.
feel like you're connected to angels, Melissa?
Yeah, they're in my meditation every morning. Mm hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel, and
Yeah.
also she showed me yellow butterflies. Now, she may
Mm
come through many signs with you, but I'm going to offer
hmm.
you that one. And there may be more that
Okay.
come through in today's reading, but please know that
Okay.
she's, she says you're her rock star, is what she says. You
Aww.
are her rock star. And then she shows me the star as a sign, like when you go out at night and look at the stars. Also, do you have
Mm.
her shirts, please? Or you have a favorite shirt of hers that you
Mm.
have, please? It's
Well,
like,
yes. Yes, my mom has her pajamas, and
Mm-hmm.
well, first of all, let me tell you, she was very affectionate. She was a huge hugger, and she would squeeze you. Like, you would be like, "Oh,
Mm.
Tony, okay," because she was super strong. I don't know. Like, oh, yeah, she would love to hug. And my mom does have a shirt of hers, and I had bought her a Golden Girls shirt because she loved the Golden Girls show,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the shirt went missing. But my sister happened to buy her own Golden Girl shirt, and she was wearing it yesterday in her honor. So the shirt,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
mm,
oh,
yeah.
I mean, you're, I'm just I'm so happy to talk to you that you do speak to your sister every day. And she shows me hats too. Like, does someone wear hats in her honor, please? Or you have a hat that's important for her? Because I feel like she's very sensitive with the sun when she goes outside, or, I need to wear a hat to cover to
Well,
cover the
I
eyes in that way.
she wore glasses, so
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say a hat. But, my youngest sister likes to wear hats a lot, but
Okay, so that's your youngest sister.
my youngest sister, yeah. She's always, like, dressed when she dresses up, she, like, especially, cowboy hats if she's doing some country or whatever. But, Tony wasn't a big hat person, but I do know that her eyes were sensitive and she did have glasses. Yeah.
Okay, it feels like,
Mhm.
yeah, I had
Yeah.
to cover up this part of
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
body. And
Yeah.
then I just want to say that it's not only the lights behind the TV that you mentioned, but I do feel
Mhm.
flickering lights throughout the house, or flickering lights
Mhm.
like in the
Yeah.
bathroom. We'll just go there
Yeah.
where she,
At my
and then she,
mom's. She
okay.
does it to my mom. She does it to my mom all the time. Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she showed me a couple of colors like yellow and then pink came through earlier. But I
Okay.
feel like there's yellow somewhere, like in the room or in a favorite room. I'm not sure. I want you to say yes to that, like it's right on the tip of your, tongue.
Mhm.
If it doesn't make sense though, please tell me too, because it can always mean something else or come through
Yeah,
in another
I'm
way.
trying to think of the color of her room back at her house, and I don't remember what color it was. I don't feel like it was yellow, but it could have been. I mean, our house is yellow, and she always wanted to
Okay.
be at my
Oh,
parents' house, but I
there we
wouldn't
are.
say yellow
Yeah,
was her favorite color, but our home is
that's
yellow,
okay.
and Tony always wanted to be with my mother. Mom, when am I going to see mom? When am I going to go home and see mom? And our house is yellow. Yeah, so that would be it.
She tells me that she this is funny because your sister's making a little bit of fun of you. Is this okay?
Mhm.
But
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
says like
Yeah.
you wear, I don't know if you're wearing perfume or a lot of fragrance, but she says you wear too much of it. Can you
Oh,
understand
no.
that? Can you take that?
No.
Just
But who
tell her.
knows? She was, like I said, she was such a hugger that she could have gotten that impression when she would squeeze, when she would see us. She would just squeeze and hug all the time. So
And she would
maybe.
hug for a long period of time,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
when you mention strong arms, I feel just a
Hmm.
strong physique in some way,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
strong chest, like strong. Very lived her life with purpose and determination,
Hmm.
and very vocal, very vocal. Yeah, but
Yes. Tony
like you
was.
said, yeah, just strong, like you said, and her
Like a
hands were
bull. She's
strong.
a Taur. Yes, she's a Taurus. She's like the bull. She's like a bull in a china shop,
Oh
and
my God,
she's very strong. Even though she was short, she was super solid and so strong. And I
solid.
don't know. Yeah,
That's a good word.
yeah, we take care of a lot of special needs. We take care of the special needs girls. We have two group homes that our family takes care of, and my sister lived in the group home because my sister Tony has special needs. They're all strong, but Tony was so strong. It's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to
Mhm.
say that she loves your laughter. She loves your
Uh,
laughter. And I want to say that I almost feel she wouldn't go a day without telling you that she loved you, you
every
know?
time we saw Tony, she told us that she loved us. Every single
Yeah.
time. She was full of love. Full of love. Yeah.
She very
Yeah.
much lives in the present moment.
Mhm.
Tony always seemed
Yes.
like she was in the present moment.
Yes.
And every day
Yes.
was like, yeah. Every day was
Yes.
like, yay.
Yeah. That was her. That definitely was her. But she's good. She's good. I want my mom to really get a vision. Like I tell her all the time, Tony, please, because I think I've had a couple visitations with her in
Mhm.
dreams, like different than dreams. They feel different than
Mhm.
dreams, but I want her to, like, my mom to have one because my mom
Yeah.
is having the hardest time, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that she's with your mom, supporting her, and I feel like your
Hmm.
mother has if I may tune in a little bit, I feel like your
Yeah.
mother either has insomnia or problem sleeping, or you know,
Hmm.
up and
Yeah.
down, or that
Yeah.
type of
She's up and
feeling.
down.
But
Yeah.
Tony
Hmm.
said, I feel Tony saying, well, I'm with her. And I do feel that Tony is connecting with her in many ways. But, it, maybe your mother is receiving the signs too, and just
Hmm.
not feeling like they're a sign. Sometimes we all
Hmm.
have our doubts, or we're not
Right.
sure, or could it be? But it doesn't mean Tony's not
Yeah.
around. And I feel like in some way you are the messenger for her, for your mom right now, but she's
Hmm.
certainly with your mom during those evening hours, or really any time. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I really, and as you mentioned, a visitation is the most
Hmm.
powerful experience you can have,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
dream where you know that it was
Hmm.
real. It's nothing. It had to be real. You don't forget a thing about it. Um,
Hmm.
but I want to
Yeah.
tell you that your mother is actually very sensitive to spirit as well. Even though,
She is.
do
She's
you feel
very
that?
psychic. Yeah, she
Yeah,
is. We all are.
yeah.
My sister, my other sister also, all of us are. And my niece, my sister's daughter. It's all of us, all us girls. Yeah. It's funny. Just like
It
your
is.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I
Good.
know Tony's going to be coming through to your mom soon. And look, maybe your mom's messages, from what I'm hearing right now with
Mhm.
Tony, is that her messages might be more right now in the waking state
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
than in the sleeping state. But
Yeah.
because sometimes we don't always remember our dreams, even though spirit's with us. We
Mhm.
don't always remember that they were there.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah, I feel she's happy. The last year of her life was very difficult. She had a choking accident the year before. She was on a trach the last year of her life. And I tell my mom, and I think that's the one thing that brings my mother comfort. She didn't want to see her daughter suffering, so
Absolutely.
it's
And
like, yeah.
Tony's
Yeah.
like, I'm eating. Tell them I'm eating now, and I'm eating pizza, and because she says she couldn't eat a whole lot because her stomach either was
Mhm.
very sensitive, or
It was the
couldn't take a
trach.
lot.
It was the
And
trach
so,
because she's a foodie. Her favorite things were my mom and food. Uh huh. And
oh, your
and she
mom and
couldn't her
food. Oh, how
she
joy.
couldn't eat her the last year of her life because of the trach, because she had a trach in her throat. So we had to mush everything up in a small meal. And I said that was no quality of life for her.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
good. I'm glad she's eating now because she loves to eat, as we all do in my family. But she really loved to eat. That makes me happy to hear. Oh, good.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. So for people listening, because we only have like a few minutes, like under 5 minutes, and they want to do a reading with you, how do you do it? Do
Yeah.
you people reach out to you, set up an appointment? How
Mhm.
do you like to do it?
Well, people can schedule an appointment with me through my
Mhm.
website at mediumcheryl.com. And I'm offering readings over the phone, or
Mhm.
by Zoom, or FaceTime. And
Okay.
I'm doing one-to-one readings that way. I'm also doing even group readings
Oh, okay.
using Zoom with several people at one time. But yes, they can schedule with me for a private reading through my website.
Oh, okay. And you have a couple of online community things going on too, right? Don't
I
you have
have,
it's called the Healing Prayer Circle and
yeah,
the Healing
yeah.
Table? Can you share a little bit
hmm
about that?
I've had my healing prayer circle for, gosh, a
Mhm.
handful of years now. We meet every Sunday online at six
Oh,
o'clock in the
nice.
evening on Sundays. Yeah, it's wonderful. We do a prayer. We do a guided meditation where I take everyone through a guided meditation. And it's a
Mm.
chance for people to come. It's free to join. So you can
Okay.
join through my website. Again, it's called the Healing Prayer Circle. And that's every Sunday night, and it's recorded. So if you can't make it on Sunday, go ahead and sign up, because not everyone can make that time or
Yeah.
that day. And then you receive a recording of the circle in your inbox, right? So that's my healing prayer circle. I also offer a monthly energy transformation sessions. And this is another group membership. It's monthly or annually. You can join, and I do a remote energy healing. You can meet with me. We meet a couple of times a month where I do a meditation specifically for this group. So if you're new to meditation or you want to keep yours practice up, you can join me. And also I do another live on this energy transformation sessions. I do a live talk about the energies I'm picking up for the month, or what's ahead, or how to stay spiritually fit, right? Because we always want to keep our aura and our energy body, so to speak, balanced and in harmony.
Right.
We want to be strong and vibrant, and we want to manifest, right? We want to be able to
Yeah, of
manifest
course.
the things that we dream and desire. Yeah, so I have a couple of those
Absolutely.
going on.
Oh, that sounds really, really cool. That sounds so interesting. And so everybody can find that on your website, right? They can join
Right.
any of those if they want. Oh, that's really great. Well, we have like 30 seconds left before we have to wrap up. Anything that you just want to say that you feel is important that you didn't get to share?
I just wanted to share with people that, practicing gratitude or coming from a place of gratitude is really a very high vibration. And
Yes.
if you can just write down a couple of things or think about a couple of things you are grateful for in this moment on this day, it will shift your energy to where it opens doors and possibilities for you to manifest, for you to be more joyful, for you to kind of live that balanced and harmony life. So always practice gratitude. It's such a blessing, and we have such a privilege that we get to do that every day. Yeah.
Gratitude is so important. I say it all the time. Thank you so much, Cheryl. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Postcards to the Universe with Melissa, creating the life you crave. And I'm wishing everyone a wonderful week filled with joy, abundance, and love. Peace.